sorry, disclaimer, whatever I say here is not classed as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before investing money elsewhere.
Great.
Money can go up or down depending on but hi guys, welcome to Oversharing and Banter featuring me.
Hamda.
That's not me. Hi guys, should we do the intro again? Because that was a very fake imposter.
I'm the real person.
Oversharing and
This is going to be a problem. Like, I can't live with this. Can you sit there? Well, welcome to another episode. Today we have my
Hamda's
sister.
twin
Fortunately or
sister.
unfortunately, I don't know how I'm going to survive this episode. Wish me luck, guys.
Yeah, this is Hamda's twin sister, guys. And yeah.
I don't know about Swinsha. She literally couldn't have her own
Spoilers.
personality and she stole mine.
She's my first
And she's
sister.
thriving
There's
off my
like 2 other
personality.
siblings between us, but
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, I have her face and it's annoying because it follows me all my life. Everybody's like, "Is Amina your sister?" Oh my
Yesterday
goodness,
at
you
the
guys look so
party,
much
someone
alike.
was
You
already
guys sound
speaking
alike.
with Meenah, and then the person thought like they were speaking with you.
I had to literally pause. I was like, Edge, money to ambassador. Like, doing it. I was like, no.
Sorry, it's actually not doing.
There's almost like 10 years between us. So, like,
Yes,
Cleo, you come
wow.
Kimila and see.
Emma
See,
Bima.
hot.
If you please, this is my number one sugar mommy. If I say on this podcast, I apologize in advance. You should be running my lifestyle. Okay, Riley, I should go and do the other side of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
So Meenah is a product manager.
Yeah.
And she also does Money Mondays on Instagram.
Yes.
She does finance content. She tells us about
try.
how to, make the coins in pounds, not just
Emma should be
mere dollars. And yeah,
I give up. Mina,
she also owns a podcast, Sip and Sisterhood, and yeah,
she's well. I was about
all
to
in
say sip
one.
and beans.
Wow.
Like, I know what it's called, but you said sip, my brain was just like pains. They said sister, and I'm like, yes, that's the correct one.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
we usually do this thing where we talk about like the worst, wildest, and best things that have happened
In the previous week, month,
In the
year,
previous
year.
week.
So like in last year, like this year.
Okay.
Let's do week, because she's in Lagos. You have Lagos context for us.
Yes, please. What's the worst thing that happened to you this week?
Everything. I've had to sleep with no lights, and I know I sound very, bougie and entitled, but guys, I haven't been able to cope with how hot it is and how people survive day to day. Like honestly, stop laughing. Do you know I went to my friend Leila's house and I was just telling her my experience the last 2 days, and I started crying. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, I'm so emotional, but this is a bit too much for me right now.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You'll be alright.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's still the way, like when you move, so they have better context for why this is so dramatic for you. Because I can't relate. I was like, okay, it's hot. I'll be alright. I'll drink.
No,
cold
because
water,
I've left
calm
Nigeria
myself.
since 2010, and I feel like I left and I've come back and things are not just the way I remember them. And it feels like it's a culture shock.
How do you remember Nigeria?
I don't know, I don't remember things being this hard. Like, I'm not even joking.
There's wool over your eyes. Because things are Nigeria. So
No, I think it has gotten worse.
No, I feel like it, and maybe because when I left, right, I was still like getting pocket money. I was literally still a child. And now I've gone and I've come back and I'm like, guys, things are hard in this country. How are people coping? How's your mental health?
not great.
Not great.
We're all trauma
Please,
bonding.
you've left us alone, so please, you have no right to speak. Not great.
Like, I'm not even joking. I literally had a 1-hour rant with Leila and I just broke down stair crying. I was like, everything is just so hard. It's just so dusty. Like, I told her, if I smell like petrol, I'm so sorry. I've been in the car and all I could smell was petrol. And she was just looking at me like, Pele, my dear. I was like, thank you, I did it.
I don't know what to say. So,
Anyway.
he said all this crazy stuff now. But like, which of them is the worst? Because you just said the worst. That's like the general experience.
And you know what's frustrating for me was I've been really looking forward to coming to Nigeria because the last time I was here was 2013 and I came for a wedding and I feel like I enjoyed myself. And maybe because all of my friends, all the people that I knew then have all jackpot. So I just feel like a foreigner in my own country. I feel like I don't have any friends. I don't know anyone. And it's like...
You have to introduce you to my friends.
Your life's sad. I'm like, I want to go back home.
But you soon go now. Make this left.
I swear to God, I promise you, I'm counting down. I normally don't.
Serious?
Yeah, I normally don't count. You know. I'm well traveled.
Yes.
Me, I'm just here like I'm even considering extending.
I think because you left fairly recently,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
So left to me, like in my head, this is still home.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Everything just feels strange to be at this.
So
The fact that I couldn't even remember the way home, like to mommy and daddy's house, that's when I was like, there's problem. There's actually problem, Amina. You need to figure out this identity crisis. You need to resolve it within yourself. Like, how can I not remember the road to the house? This is actually sad. Anyway, let's move on to happier things.
Wildest thing that has happened to you.
What's the
this
wildest
past week?
thing that's happened to you?
In the past week,
Yeah.
wildest thing.
Yeah, they were like, wow.
I feel like it's a negative still.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah,
one thing that always
yeah,
negative.
yeah.
It's like
I just feel like it's the sense of entitlement that I've gotten from people of like just expecting me to give them money.
yeah, mommy London. You don't know.
Mommy pound sterling.
And I'm like, you guys, you're way older than me. Why are you calling me man, greeting me auntie and saying anything for me? No, I have nothing for you.
That's basically why I quickly.
I have
ran away from
nothing.
Croatia.
You know, I tapped out like halfway through the prayer on Sunday. I was just like, I literally, like mentally, I can't deal. Why are we praying and you people are asking for money for prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Meenah is not very Yoruba. That's normal here. Yeah.
It was not even the asking for money part that like was busting my brain. It was the fact that they were calling specific amounts.
That
And I'm
people
like,
had to drop.
I'm not really understanding. Are we here for prayer or are we here for like fundraising? Is this a charity event? Like if it's a charity fundraising event, I'm good with that. But I thought we're here to like pray.
It's a charity fundraising event that shrouded in prayer.
Anyway, moving on to happier things.
Oh yeah.
So what's the best thing that's happened this past week?
To be fair, seeing my dad, because I haven't seen daddy in like. I was going to say something else.
Please say the
let me
thing.
say
Please say the
something.
thing.
Let me quickly interrupt for a minute. We have the same father, obviously, because we are siblings, right? So that's not obvious. So we have different fathers.
But I'm the favorite
Meenah has-
child.
No, she has a different experience.
I'm the favorite
from my
child.
father.
Which camera am I
This
looking
is
at?
the camera.
I'm the favorite child.
Favorite child. They have like an amazing relationship, and I can never relate. I'm just like, no, shower. What's
Do
this?
you know that that's another thing that low-key bothers me?
Why does it bother you?
I just feel like, how do we have the same dad but different experiences?
Because you're the
Oh, yeah,
first
it
child, he
is,
was
yeah.
excited, you're his first baby, he tried with you, you guys went on things together. I'm number 4.
I'm
At
the
that
favorite
point, he
child.
was going everywhere.
But like really, do you know this thing bothered me for a while?
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I'll be literally saying
But
things
it's not
that
like only you. It's just like
She's the
everybody.
only one
I literally have a different
she has an
experience.
individual
Like,
experience.
So like
Just
you
like-
and Larry have the same.
and Stajira and Debola, we don't understand her.
so for me, I'm always like, I don't understand. I remember daddy taking me to like the park. I remember daddy like buying stuff for me. I'll go to his office when he gets
Really,
posted
again,
and
the
I'll
thing though,
send
that time you were in
faxes.
Kano and he was working in
Even
Kano.
when some of these experiences that I remember from when we moved from Kano to Lagos,
But he was still working in Lagos.
he used to travel a lot for work. He was literally like all over Nigeria.
The daddy I remember was never home. He used to be in Ghana working.
Do you know how many years he had been working different places before Ghana?
Can I help you? I'm just telling you, that's my idea of daddy.
Okay, maybe that's because me. I remember daddy being at home, and I just remember the daddy that used to travel everywhere for work. But like he would send me fax. I'll go to his office, and people be like, "Oh, Gary," and I'll send a fax, and he'll send a fax back. I remember like my most precious memory of daddy is I remember primary 5, and mommy and daddy have no recollection of this memory, which annoys me. I was seriously sick, like ill hospitalized. I came back home. We're living in Magodo then, and my dad was like, "Oh my God, my daughter is better. What would you like to eat?" And I said I wanted crab. And I think he drove to Ekpe or Badagry, one of these far places, to buy crab for me to eat. I had a purple cooler. And mommy and daddy were like, "You were sick, crab." I'm like, "How do you not remember this?" I remember like the excitement on his face and him driving for hours and coming back, and then mommy cooked crab.
It was a core memory for you. It was not a core memory for
Yeah.
you. That's just it.
Anyway, still goes to show that I'm the favorite child.
Like, you know, see your dad.
You-
Because
you're
mommy,
right.
mommy comes to see you.
Yeah, I saw mommy last year, so I kept telling her that don't feel bad because I feel like I just saw you yesterday, but I haven't seen dad in 8 years, so it was really nice, and we've like bonded on like had different conversations.
Just in this one, many days.
I swear to God, we've bonded on our
love you for
mutual similarities, and mommy has been pissed off.
Disgusting. Like, no shower. Anyway,
So, what are you doing in Lagos?
I have come for celebrate. Am I allowed to say that we come for mommy's birthday?
Because we are going to post this way later.
Okay, apologies. So, our mom turned 60 this year and she's also retiring from civil service. So, I've come for a celebration.
Mommy London is around.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
See her outside
I don't even live in London.
I don't care. It's just like a Nigerian thing. If you're in the UK, you're Mommy London. When that thing does this slap as much now, does it? Does not.
Apologies.
Okay, great.
So let's get into more like serious.
All right,
Yes,
cool.
How did you get into finance?
Okay, no.
Do you know the funny
can
thing?
Can we
Okay,
talk about like...
talk about, go
Because
back.
right now, no, I don't want to go back yet. I want to talk about... Okay, let's go back first.
Okay.
Obviously, you moved earlier than... Well, you moved at a very
The
young
original
age.
jackbars, like this. say.
Right? The original Japan people. And you moved when you were young, you moved for school, you didn't have... I don't want to say you didn't have family members, you did, but like they were not
Let's
close,
not get
strong
into that.
family members, right? So how was that experience for you? Because me, I just moved, but I moved straight to Larry's house, which is our other sister, and I feel like I am coasting compared to every like regular people that moved and they have to start afresh and whatever. So what's your own experience?
So when I moved, I went for uni, right? I went for my master's. So for the first 9 months, I was living on uni campus. And it was like, okay, this is great. I had the best time. And a lot of my friends that we all did NYC together, we all went for master's the same year. So we're all like in London and environs, Middlesex, Luton, Coventry. We used to be out like every weekend, shisha, house parties, movies. It was nice. I was like, I'm
was a
like,
good time.
it was good vibes. I really enjoyed that, that newfound freedom. Anyway, so uni accommodation was only for the first 9 months. So it's like a 12-month calendar year. So you do the first 9 months in uni, and then after that, you have to like go home for the summer. And then I had to go stay with family. And I like my freedom and I like my space. And for me, if I'm staying with somebody that's not family, I can never ever truly be myself. And I was just never comfortable. Not that they were bad people. Like for me, I could just never be the way I was when I was at home, and I was literally I was like, I need to get a job. I need to get a job and I need to be out of this house. I just cannot be living with people because I can't be out till midnight. It'll be like, why are you out? Where did you go to? I can't say you guys are eating eba tonight and I don't feel like eba, I want KFC. So I remember like when I'm coming, because when I was in uni, I was working in hospitality, like as all students do when you go to the UK. So I was working literally in all the London stadiums, Emirates, the Old West Ham Stadium, Old Tottenham Stadium, and Wembley for like match days and events. And I remember I'll be coming back from matches and I'll brunch KFC and eat, and I'll come up like, I'm not hungry. Like I'm done. And I'll be like in the room the whole time. I remember one of my uncle's wives rang mommy and daddy and was complaining that I'm just always inside all day. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to be saying to you? Your children are 10, 8, 6, like, in fact, maybe even younger at the time. And like, we don't have anything in common. I don't have anything in common with your children. I don't have anything in common with you. And I just want to be left to myself and my vices. Like, just leave me the hell alone. Like, not in a bad way, but I'm not comfortable here. And eventually I got a job. Still didn't move out because I was going to rent a place, and daddy was just like, as a woman, lema dagwe. And I just thought, what the hell kind of life is this now? Like, oh my God. Do you know that daddy actually didn't allow me rent my own apartment even when I was working?
So where were you living? Who were you living with?
That's when I went. I don't want to mention any names, but that's when I went to stay with. They were very lovely to me. Like, his wife used to cook like lunch for me to take to work. But again, it just wasn't my house. And they were super nice, but I was just never comfortable. And I was just like, oh, God, I need to find a way to get my own place because I just want to be able to go out and not be calling somebody. And then I was already like 21, 22. I was like, why do I have to be calling somebody at home to say, Mio, Alilini? I just want to go out when I want to go out, come back when I want to come out. So a lot of that time I was like hanging out with my friends. I'll sleep over in their houses. And I was like, this cannot be the life for me. I just really want my own space. And guess what I went and did after that? I went and married.
I knew it.
That was the only way.
as a Nigerian
Get
girl,
your freedom. So you got married at 21?
No, I was 24 when I got married.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of that's what's happened from like 21 to 24.
Yeah.
In fact, do you know the funny thing about how we got married? Do you know that we were never going to get married? I was going to just move in with man. Like, he got a job outside of London. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, I can't do this long distance thing, no. Like, London to where you're going now, to Darlington, is a bit of a distance. So really, Emi Okinshe long distance. So do we have a relationship or do we not have a relationship? What's happening right now? So my plan was like, you know what? I'll find a job in Darlington. I'm going to move in with you. And then I then applied for a job in Darlington in the same company I still work with now. And then I got the role. I was like, oh, this was meant to be. So we're going to move in together. So I told like my dad, I was like, well, I'm moving in with my boyfriend. At this point, you people have known him for a long time. So really,
There's really nothing much you can do about
exactly.
it. And you're not here anyway.
And called daddy and was like, ẹ fẹ́ lọ fún ọmọ yín free of charge fọkùnrin. Like, God, I beg, it's not that deep. And then Bolaji was like, should we just get married? I was like, yeah, why not? And that's the story of how we got married.
Okay, this story. Okay, lovely to know.
Yeah. So, how did you get your first role? Like, obviously, you said that you were working like at stadiums.
Yeah, that like when you're in uni in the UK, like you have to find ways to make money. So you just, because you're studying, you can't get a full-time job. I think at the time, it might even still be the case. If you're on a student visa, you can't work more than 20 hours a week anyway. So a lot of people then, I don't know how people do it now, you get jobs in hospitality or like in retail, and you just get like that cash extra.
No, what she's asking is,
No, there's also
forget
that,
about, okay.
But like, go ahead.
Now I feel like
Exactly.
it must be like I'm masking. I apologize.
Because I'm like, I'm a Bolakpo.
So what I thought she was asking.
Like, how did I get into banking?
Yes.
Yes, we're getting there.
Sorry.
Say process. I'm not just gonna say so. Wow.
Exactly. So after I graduated, it was like, okay, I actually now need a fucking proper job. Like, I can't be doing hospitality because my father did not pay pounds for me to come and do masters. So I'm working in a stadium. What's that? I'm selling beer. And I applied to like a ton of companies. I applied to so many places. I was getting through to assessment centers. And I just remember at the time how different, because I never really worked in Nigeria. I only did IT. And with IT, like my dad would just ring somebody out, or mommy need the share, and I'll just resume. And I remember the very first assessment center I went to, I was so freaking intimidated. Because I got there and there were like all these other people from all these other universities that knew each other, and they knew each other from like placements here, which is the equivalent of IT. So imagine you've done IT with somebody and then you guys are jamming each other at like assessment center. And I was the only person that was from my uni. I didn't know anybody. In fact, I think I just wore like a casual, like just a regular shirt and black trousers and some random shoes, and all of them were like all suited up, all kitted up. I say, hey, God, I beg. Like I was dressed, I would say smart. I wouldn't even say smart casual. It was like smart, but not without a blazer. It was just like a shirt, trousers. But they all came in with like, I said, wow, nobody did told me that this is how people used to do. And I flunked the assessment center because I remember having that mindset of all these people are better than me. They had their first degrees here. They all know each other. And thinking back now, that was so stupid because for me to have gotten to assessment center, I'd done like an online test, a telephone interview, another interview before getting to assessment center. So in all ramifications, like I was good enough to be there, but I just like, it was in over my head. And then, can I say the company I work? Okay. I mean, if they search for me on LinkedIn, they'll see it anyway. Anyway, then I remember I just applied to a bunch of roles in different banks. I was like, you know what, if all else fails, like, you know, I'm going to find a job. And then I got this job. I got a job in Barclays working in branch as a cashier, which sounded so exciting at the time. I was happy, but I was not fulfilled. I was like, again, my father did not pay master's money for me to be fucking giving people money on the till. What the hell? And I just remember being very frustrated. I was really good at what I was doing, but I was frustrated a lot of times because I knew the qualifications that I had. I could see like all of my other friends getting graduate roles, and I just thought, I can't be here. I need to find a way to move. And then at the time when I was then getting married, the next role up was to be an operations manager. So you basically have like your own team of cashiers that you're managing. You're ensuring that everybody's till is balancing, all that fun stuff. And I knew I wanted to be an OM, but there was no OM roles in London.
What's an OM?
Operations manager.
Great.
Okay. So when like the whole thing of us getting married happened, I randomly found an operations manager role in Darlington branch. Bearing in mind that London to Darlington is a good like 2 hours, 30 minutes on the train. We don't know anybody there. Like Bolaji got a job on the grad scheme of some engineering firm. That's how he was moving there. And I was like, okay, this role is in Darlington as an OM. Like, what are the freaking chances? I applied for the role, didn't know anybody, got the job. I was like, huh.
The stars are aligning.
I was like, the stars are aligning. This is so fantastic. Anyway, so moved to that. So this was after about a year of me like working in branch as a cashier. Then I moved to Darlington from London. A story for another day. Anyway, ended up working as an operations manager for about a year and a bit. Then I fell pregnant, because as you do, with my first child. Went off for maternity leave. How far into this story do you want me to go? Do you want me to walk you through up until my current role? Or?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so that's basically how I got into banking then.
At least you caught yourself. You're like, I feel like I'm going a bit.
I know, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's beginning to sound like an elevator pitch of tell me about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So now I want to go to like the money aspect now. I don't know, we can go back to like Barclays and how you climbed the career ladder.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
And we can even talk about like how you, the product management side of things, and how you
We'll get
wanted
into
to
it.
job ship and they you know the whole story. I don't want to give it all away. But she's also a content creator. You're also a content creator.
I don't know, I feel like I don't class myself as a content
Yeah,
creator.
sure. You people need therapy session because both of you say the same thing. I'm like,
Because I just feel like I just make
create the
videos.
content, you're just not consistent. That's the problem.
Okay,
Great.
I have
moving
2
on.
children, so that consistency cannot be the same as you single ladies
I want to
with
say
no
the other
responsibility.
people that have 2 children and do it well. You have no excuses. All I hear is excuses. But anyway, we're not here to drag each other. Okay, so on her page, she talks a lot about like how to build wealth through investments, how to manage your different portfolios. I just think on money.
I think I do a bit
management.
more than that actually.
You can tell them, okay? So maybe tell us the things you do as regards just building wealth, well, when it comes to educating people, and you can also just tell us how to do it because
Okay.
I'm a younger sister, you did not train me.
Wow. I think
How
for
were you able to,
me,
like, come to that, like, how did it? Obviously, you were not born with,
no, I definitely wasn't born with like
So, like, because like the average
finance, I don't know.
Knowledge.
Yes.
It's quite funny because our dad worked in banking, right? Literally,
You
like,
do a very fine job. You don't believe this because if you work in finance, why did you train your
no, but the
children?
thing is, I think it's also like a cultural thing where you don't teach your children about money. It's just your job as a parent to like be financially responsible for them, provide for them, let them go through uni. And again, I feel like Nigeria is a very different financial market or financial space to the UK. Nigeria is a very cash-driven society. The UK thrives on like credit, very credit-driven society. So how I even got into all this Money Mondays thing. So got my first job in my company, and then I applied for a credit card and got given a credit card. And in my head, credit card was free money. I was like, you mean you've given me £1,200 extra for me to flex with? We're gonna spend. I didn't know the concept of understanding like what your interest rates are, what happens if you don't pay your bills on time, like credit card is basically just a loan. It's not free money on top of the money. It's not money you can go and spend if you can't pay back. And I literally like racked up that credit card where I was getting letters, excuse me, madam, so when I was like, what do you mean pay mo jane low? She be left for me 1,200. And then that was when I really started to now go into, okay, I need to understand what this credit card thing is. I've got a freaking master's degree, like money shouldn't be intimidating to me. And I started to understand in the UK context, so anything I say is going to be in the context of the UK market. I started to understand, okay, with the credit card, it's basically money it's a short-term loan, essentially. If you don't pay that credit card bill in time, it affects what's called your credit rating. If you have a bad credit rating, you won't be able to get things like a mortgage, you won't be able to get other credit cards, a loan. Like in fact, sometimes you may not be able to get a job because companies will run credit checks on you when you're applying for your first job. It's like a whole thing that is tied to this. I was like, okay, I need to start learning and understanding. And then again, coming from Nigeria that is very cash-driven, nobody tells you about credit in Nigeria. I still find it crazy when people are telling me, oh, there are mortgages in Nigeria for 5 years. I'm like, that's not a freaking mortgage. That's a short-term loan. Like, people have mortgages in the UK for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And then I'm seeing people say, oh, when you buy the house in Nigeria, you first pay like 50% down and you pay the remaining 50% over 5 years. I'm like, how the fuck are people going to afford that? Like, that's not realistic in my opinion. It might just be because I've lived in the UK for so long. So anyway, I then had to kind of relearn the UK financial system and be like, okay, this is what credit is. These are the things that credit can do for you. This is how you can end up having bad credit. And then I started to realize that if that was the challenge that I faced as a first generation immigrant, which I really hate the term, I like to say we're all expats, because when the white person, they move to another country, they're expats, but all of a sudden we're immigrants. But anyway. Technicalities. And I was like, okay, if I'm going through this challenge as a first generation immigrant, then there are thousands of other people like me who are migrating to the UK, don't understand this credit system, and I don't want them to fall into a cycle of bad debt from not being able to understand the system. So that's why I said I don't really do just investments. I like to say that I break down UK financial concepts into bite-sized, easy to understand language. And it could be anything from like, how do you save for your first house? How do you help your kids to invest to have a more secure financial future than we did? How do you invest? What are the brokers that you can use? How do you understand how to budget? Like, I literally break it down from the beginning to, you are new to the country, you get your first job.
This is what you do.
This is what you do. This is what you shouldn't do. This is how you can get to where you need to be, like in 10 years' time. You have children. This is what you can do to help them. You want them to be like financially responsible, like just passing down that financial educational system. Another aspect to that is if you look at the racial wealth gap in the UK, so if you look at like the average white person and the average black person and you look at their earnings, that gap is so huge. And it really frustrates me because I feel like as black people, and again, this is another thing that annoys me because when I grew up in Nigeria, I was just a person, and then you move to another country and all of a sudden you're like a box. But when you look at the racial wealth gap, the box is wide. And then if you don't want to break it down to like the gender wealth gap, oh my goodness, we're literally like at the bottom of the food chain. So those were the things that started to like really propel me in saying, listen, I want to start hosting Money Mondays, because this information is something that like, I'll tell all my friends. Like, we'd have conversations about investments, property, junior ISAs. And
I was listening to you talk about junior ISA the other day, and I went to look for like an equivalent of that in Nigeria, and I couldn't find. Maybe because like I don't know where to look for.
I feel like there might not be.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, I feel. That's why I said anything I talk about today is going to be in the context of
junior ISA is basically.
Oh, so like. An ISA, so...
Can you guys give me a minute?
Yes.
Tony's here and call Dr.
Should I wait?
Yes.
Okay.
You do junior ISA.
Junior ISAs.
So I just see. It's okay. I didn't know.
It's fine. Hi, Howard.
She's like, she has been waiting to ask me. Tony, how far are you here?
My first child is 9.
Yeah, they are bastards.
Don't worry, I'll show you pictures. I'm not 27 years old. Hamdala is 28, so how can I be 27?
Yeah, I'm old.
Sorry.
I know I look young, but I am quite old.
You know the thing is that it didn't actually even occur to me.
Yeah.
I didn't think of her age. You just came in and I profiled you.
I mean, I'll take 27 any day.
Yes, so like,
How old do you think she is and how old is she?
no.
I haven't said how old I am, but
She's not told me how old she is, but she told me that she has a 9-year-old. So I'm just calculating. I'm just saying that it cannot have been child, like teenage pregnancy. So, because she was talking about in the UK, and I was like, they'll not allow her to be pregnant in the UK. So, like in my head, I'm just doing the calculation. What do you mean you have 2 kids? And what do you mean your first kid is 9 years old? What do you mean your first kid can talk?
Daughters between the two of them, I'm like.
Yeah, like doing the math, right? Like,
That is number 4.
right?
yeah.
That's
number 1.
I'm not even doing it.
I get where Hawa is coming
She's like,
from.
I'm not doing the math of it. Just based on what I see.
I'm just saying that when I heard that, I'm like, you know what?
It's the fact that she said 2 kids, and she said it, like, immediately she said 2 kids. I first went to
I still have new
and then I
Wait
told
for her.
Amina. I was like, she's definitely lying for this podcast. Because
Because I saw your reaction when I said this.
Have you found the dates for Tony?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you the one she stays with now?
No.
Because if you say it's longer, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Unless
Yeah.
you moved.
This is
When
another
you're
sister
doing,
entirely.
when you're doing, is she the one who you were doing baby duty for?
She's
No.
not. This one is in the UK. That one is
This one
in
is-
Canada.
The one that's always posting all those flexing pictures.
She's the
Yeah,
one. She's the mother. She's the one.
Wow.
So that's-
I'm sorry. All my friends know you.
Wow. That's crazy.
Don't worry, I'll show you picture.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Get myself off that.
Oh my God.
It's not why I love you, right?
So like,
So how old do you think I am?
How old do I think you are? I said I thought you were 27.
Okay, so now that you know I'm not 27, how old do you think I am?
No, anymore.
That's what I first said. But I don't think she like thought of Hamda's age.
Hamda? No, I know Amda is in her late 20s, but I did not really.
You know when you just analyze it, right?
She just said that I was like, how many
Fair enough. She does some things all.
Yeah, I was.
You're not still wearing dress, looking like Sissy with.
What am I supposed to wear now? People should. What am I supposed to wear? I should wear boo. I should wear wrapper.
No. We don't want to talk about that.
Obviously, you're still young, but you just really. You look so carefree. That's it.
Do you know what? In this life, there's only one life. I have to enjoy it.
I see women with kids that look good, but I don't see women with kids that look carefree.
Like I can't come back you myself.
Like they don't look like they don't put calories in their hair.
She has done too much and just like.
No, I just feel like, okay, this also stems from growing up Nigerian. I literally looked at all the women, all the aunties, and I'm like, all of you have kind of made motherhood your personality. And I refuse to make motherhood my personality because guess what? These children are going to flee the nest.
But it's so hard because
Like the amount of people
your
that can be in their
children
apartment
are
at once.
so, like they're in your face all the time. So it's hard not to morph into.
Oh, I told them that some people are living.
So, did you do something extra? Like did
No,
you
I just decided that motherhood was not going to be my whole personality. Like I'm a mom, but I'm also Amina, and Amina also has a life. I was something, and I am something exactly before you people came into my life.
After the kids leave. Even
They hijacked the podcast.
Even after the kids leave,
fine.
like you still be.
Yeah. So that's like for me, I'm like, I keep saying to Bolaji, I'm like, in 9 years, by God's grace, Adnan will be in uni. Imagine if I make 18 years of my life all about my children, then I'll now be lost when he goes.
Exactly.
So they have to sit down. Like my children know, like if I tell Adnan, I need 5 minutes. I just need all of you to leave me alone, please. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I got married when I was 24.
Still childbirth. You're 24. Oh, wow. You knew.
Children is like, oh.
No, 24. Well,
Why is it just lovely to find the love of your life so early in it?
I know, right?
Okay.
You're one of the lucky ones. Oh my God.
I agree. Like I always say, I don't know how people.
I got married till at 24.
No.
Although, you know, I've just been too scared to give birth. So, yeah.
Don't worry, we'll have conversations.
24.
My God, you people are the chosen ones.
Wow, the streets,
I don't know how like you people are dating now. I can't even lie. To be honest, I met my husband when I was 18, and at the time,
Wow.
I was in 3rd year in uni, and he had graduated. There's 5 years between us.
No, me, I failed a lot of times. So don't worry, I can even be in third year in uni.
Oh my god.
Because I'm so old, I need paper jam. You know when you're feeling that.
How old are you that I say you're so old? Yeah. But then he claims that at the time he knew that he was going to marry. I was like, guy, I was 18. I was like, guy, I wasn't thinking of marrying. Like, I'm just out here to date and like.
Different men have told me. Once they saw me, they saw their wife.
I'm like, for where? I say at 18.
That very game in so many different ways. Like,
You will be my wife.
Well, I'm so sorry.
People have proposed to me and I've said no.
I mean, if you're not ready, you're not ready.
Exactly.
Like, because I always say the thing
Should we
is,
just make it a group session?
we can. We can.
Sit here, I will
But
grab
think
another
that
chair.
you're So I'm sorry.
No,
No, don't be sorry.
We're interesting.
That is just so beautiful. Knowing,
Thank you.
Like early on, knowing that this is the person.
Then you want to spend the rest of your life
Yes,
with
like you
that.
want to spend and you just know. Like you, you were a child, right?
Yeah, the child.
I don't want to be rude.
What?
This was a child bride.
My frontal lobe has not developed.
Yeah, your frontal lobe doesn't develop till you're 30. And I always say to people, I had to go back. I think I'll go back to like when I was 25.
The other time, because he also married really early. He married like right out of uni.
Oh, wow.
And I was talking to him about getting married, and he was like, I don't think you're going to get married because you have become so self-aware. And I feel like to marry, you need to have some level of delulu. Yes.
No, I don't think so. I think self-awareness. No, like I'm not disputing the fact that I'm lucky because I keep saying that, Bolaji, if we didn't meet at the time that we met, I don't know how I would find somebody, because how are people navigating this? Let's be swiping left, swiping right, DM.
Some people are not even trying. That's yeah,
Don't say that.
Are you trying?
I feel like it starts aligned because I was listening to your story and you're telling me you're talking about how you just got that job. So it felt like everything was just
Everything,
saying,
like,
okay,
this is it, like, just move.
But like in Lagos.
Says in Lagos.
In Lagos.
Like, even at the time, because
Yeah, just looking on Snapchat, you just see your boyfriend.
they got a bag.
Inside house party.
Inside house party.
Doing things
Screaming.
like, is this me? In house party.
Wow.
No, Lagos is the ghetto.
What's very interesting about this story, so there's this guy I work with in like the films I work on, and Oga basically every time she looks at the rest of us that work together and she's like, when will you marry? Because this guy, so he's 26 now, and he got married to his wife at 24. His first son is 2 now, and he has a daughter as well. And so every time she just turns to one of us and like, and when I first met him, he was 25. And my first met him, like, he married at 23. He married for 2 years. And I asked him, like,
Even me, I'm like, how?
how?
Even me that got married at 24, I would say I don't think I can let my kids get married at 24.
Why? Why it worked out for
What do
you?
you say?
Exactly, I feel like I was lucky
When did you move to the UK?
when I was 21.
Okay. Damn. Oh wait. Oh no. Okay. Okay, you met him when you were 18, so you met him before.
So we met here,
Oh, you.
and then we weren't even dating because me, I was just like, which that big. If I was dating somebody else at the time, and then that relationship ended, and then I just remembered I was like, I haven't seen this guy in like a year, so I texted him and I was like, let's hang out. So we hung out, and then I was like, oh, by the way, I'm even going for masters like in September. He was like, oh, me too, I'm going for masters. I was like, oh, I'm going to London. I was like, oh, I'm going to Coventry. I was like, Coventry to London. It's like, it just felt like everything was just aligning. Like when I look back, I'm like, oh, this was definitely meant to be.
I think that it's really cool when you're married early because you just feel like, okay, this person is my person. And also, I love it when people get married early, but it doesn't feel like a marriage. It just feels like you guys are living together. Like you're just friends that live together.
I mean, fights do usually happen, Shabbat. Of course.
It will happen, but I just feel like you just know.
At the end of the day,
This is
My
it.
person, I found it.
True, like one time, my biggest fear was like, if this guy should die, my own has actually finished.
You know, that's when you know you love someone. When you're not afraid.
I was like, yeah. That's like the list of, because I lost a friend like 2 years ago. I'm not greeting Tonio. You owe me money. You said I should jack your shirt. This guy, let me report you. This guy ghosted me. That's the moral of this story. Who is Meenah? This guy ghosted me. I was not here for people that I broke your leg. I said, it's me, it's my head that cut you.
Let me tell you something. So when witches from your village.
Do you know where I'm in the middle of the shoot? Get out, go for it. Don't do your work. Everybody.
We shall table this matter at a later date.
Okay, great. Oh my God.
Where were we?
Very cute.
But the more you guys continue, the more we have more to talk about.
Yeah.
back to
Okay.
now.
No. What were you people talking about now?
How like
Plenty
you found a
things.
person at a very early age.
Continue with that.
So we've bombed finance
We will
now.
go back. This gist is sweeter.
Okay, we finished though. I thought we recording, Sha.
Yeah.
But like, how was audio? Anyway, it's fine. We'll figure it out.
I feel like the audio would enter because
There's so many mics, right?
yeah, there's so many mics and yeah. The room is
Everybody, yeah? Okay.
When you're done like with the podcast, can we do like small amebo like with
Yeah,
When she was taking permission from me, she
Treasure, I the one that didn't want to work for my husband. Yes.
who's your husband?
Oh my God, she doesn't know. Mo is her husband. What's the name of the?
I can't remember.
The fashion brand name. Yes.
Don't worry, I know you're a booked and busy babe, it's fine.
I want to work for my husband. Sorry. Yeah.
Wait, I doesn't want to, but I want to.
Doesn't
No,
want
no, no,
to.
no. It's fine, but I understand.
When we can
Followed by.
This bio set him up. Thanks.
don't worry, I'll get the gist for you.
So, why you left? We have.
Where were we?
Okay, so
Oh, shut up.
Let's just for them to go.
It's Tony girl. I like
What
probably.
I feel like you guys are
for them.
I'll send you money for food.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're talking about like building wealth, but then
You guys! Yo!
You guys, please.
People don't have neighbors. Use your voice.
So you're saying you're doing life podcast?
okay, I feel like let's just move into this. You have 2 kids, and you
I
travel
do
a
have
lot,
2 kids, and I do
and
travel a
you're
lot.
married, and like you're on top of like your career game.
I've not reached the top shabots.
You know,
Yeah,
you're very,
headed
very,
in
Ebola
the
on
right
Toby.
direction.
very good, very, very good position.
No, but
and,
no,
you know,
thankfully.
Exactly. So like, how do you like balance it? Because like, I and Hamda were talking the other day, and she was talking about how like one of the reasons why she thinks she will not have like kids is because wait, is this something that is supposed to be said?
Yes, we've said that you don't have
alright.
kids on this podcast. There's a whole last
So like one of the reasons why it's like she feels like she wouldn't, because we're talking about how maybe someone can travel for a month and maybe leave their kids for like a couple of, and she feels like she won't be able to do that.
Let me explain.
Okay.
I feel like you just like the thing you said, like growing up, the aunties around you, like their lives were a certain way, and I'm like, that's not the life I want, right?
What
and there's
aunties?
also the part where just aunties in general, like mommies, and there's also the part where the husbands that I saw around me weren't honestly the most hands-on husbands. So I'm like, I'm not going to have a child.
To be doing it
because-
alone,
to be doing
right?
it alone, and to like
And then
just
not have someone
lose
that you can-
myself and not feel it's a freedom thing. I feel like if I have a child, I'll never be free again, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe I just
Not
shouldn't do
necessarily,
that.
So basically, the way I see it, once you decide to be like in a marriage or have children, there's definitely going to be some level of sacrifice and some level of compromise. Let's not even sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
There's always going. In fact, the minute you have children, I would say 9.999 out of 10 times, your first thought is, how do I make things better for this child? How do I make things comfortable for this child? How do I make sure that, oh my God, if something happens to me, this child is fine? There's always going to be that. Your child is always going to be one of the things that are forefront of your head as a parent. But again, for me, I also decided quite early on that I wasn't going to make motherhood my whole personality, because I've seen a lot of women just lose themselves in parenting and do everything for their kids, only for their kids to eventually leave, because the parents that your children will grow and leave the nest, right? And then all of a sudden they don't know what to do with themselves. And I would say like the first 2 to 3 years of my marriage and like the first 2 years of me parenting, I was living like that. I was like, okay, no, this is how I'm now expected to behave. I can't, why would I want to travel and leave my child? And then a friend of mine was getting married, and I got invited to the bridal shower. And the bridal shower was in Gran Canaria in Spain. And I was like, babe, can I go? And he was like, what do you mean, can you go? Go now if you want to go now. And I went, and I was like, new level of love.
Like,
I said,
the first domino has fallen.
I said, wait, what? I was like, the fact that I was waking up every day, I wasn't like hearing mommy. I wasn't thinking of, what to do around the house, ironing any clothes, washing anything. And I'm even married to a very hands-on person, so it wasn't like I was doing everything, but it was just the fact that for those like 3 days, I was just doing all of the things I was doing before marriage. I was dancing, I was going out clubbing, we were on a yacht cruise, we're like enjoying. I said, oh God of mercy. I said, wow, like I can do this. And I don't even want to say I'm lucky enough to be married to somebody who allows me to travel, because the whole point of being in a partnership and in a marriage is, I don't believe that your husband or your wife is like going to be everything for you. You need a sense of community. You need friends where you're like, actually, my husband is pissing me off. Let's all rant collectively about how our husbands are annoying us. Or you want to talk about, the things that are bothering you, or you just want to have friends to party with, or you just want to have friends to talk about money with. So that first trip like really opened my eyes to the fact that, okay, I don't have to conform to a certain standard of living, because at the end of the day, this is my life. And I don't want to be in my 80s regretting. And when I die, I'm all, that's the end. Like, I literally only have this one life. So a couple of months after that, I then went on another trip to Portugal with another friend, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was like, I actually really like traveling. And in my version of my rich life, I want to have gone to so many places and experienced different cultures and just have moments where, as much as I love my children, I love my partner, I just want to have moments where this is just my time. Like this is just my thing. And literally every year since then, up until like COVID and then after, so that COVID few years where things were crazy, I've been traveling every year, sometimes multiple times a year, like 1 week, 3 days. I'm just like, this is mommy time, girls trips. And we're just out, and all of us are like ditching our husbands and our children, and we're just coming there to rant, gist, play,
And just have a
talk,
good
just
time.
have a good time and just enjoy life. And
Yeah,
I
to
highly
be honest-
recommend it.
Yes, to be honest, because like when I even like sometimes having kids scare me because I'm just like, oh god.
Having kids are scary.
Yes. So I try to now look at people that are mothers and are still thriving in their careers. I don't try to look at mothers that have become a shadow of themselves since. Like, so I use that to just say that if this person can have kids and even be more, successful than they were before kids, I can do it.
I could fuck, am I not too?
Exactly. Am I not too? So like it's not scary, when I like see
I feel
people
like
like
we need
Meenah,
to-
especially people like Tomike. I don't know if you guys know Tomike Adiri on Instagram. Exactly.
I
So,
feel like people also need to understand that your life is always going to be in seasons, right? And you just have to enjoy every season that you are in that moment. Like when I was on maternity leave, for example, I was like, God, out there. I just want to speak to another human being that is not a child. But that's the season that I was in. And unfortunately, my career had to kind of go on a stall that period because my primary duty at that time, in that 1 year, because in the UK you can take up to 1 year off for maternity, was just caring for my child. And as my children are getting older and they're having a bit more autonomy in the house, it's also giving me a bit more autonomy to not be as worried or as attached to be like, okay, if I'm living a 9-year-old compared to like I'm living a 9-month-old, that child is grown. Like Adnan can make breakfast, he will clean the house, he can vacuum and clean skirting boards, and I know that okay, he has some level of responsibility. So that's the thing about phases. Your child is not always going to be a baby forever, right? But then when you have children, the reality is there will be times when you have to make compromises and sacrifices. And same as when you are married, I always say to people that for me the key thing is, are you and your partner communicating? Because if you both get married at like 24, you are both still growing. The things that you both wanted at 24 is not necessarily going to be the same things you both want at 26. Are you communicating that with each other? Because if you are not, then that's where like miscommunication starts to happen. It's like, oh, when I married you, you wanted to be a doctor, now you say you want to be a nurse, but you guys are not like having that contact. Because if you think of it, even as an individual, you're not the same person you were when you were 18. In fact, you're probably not the same person exactly last year because you come into contact with new people, you have different experiences, your thought process changes, and you're like, okay, you're more open or not as open to different things. So imagine that's you growing as a person, that you now expect that the person that you're with will just be the same. That's a bit unfair because you're both growing. It's just both of you communicating in that growth. And I think that's one thing that I would say always scared me, because I always say to people that for me, I don't think love is enough to keep you in a marriage. Like the romance is not enough, there has to be other things. And I used to fear growing out of love with my partner because I'm like, what if I just change? And like I'm not the same person. Like I know that I can be crazy, but if you are communicating that, in my case anyway, like with your partner saying, okay, this is where I'm at now. And I'm one of those people that if I want to make a decision, everybody does have a problem. I've called all my friends, I'm like, this is what I'm going through. But as long as you're able to have that open communication and understand that, you have to be communicating, you're both growing, and you have to kind of make sure you're still aligning regardless of what your individual growth. I think marriages will be fine, but again, this is based off of my experience, so don't take my word for it.
She's like, caveats. If it doesn't work out for you, it's not from my mouth, you heard it. Anyway, so I want to go back to like the traveling thing. So Meenah does this thing where she buys her tickets like a year before. And obviously, based on that, it's way cheaper. And I just want to, not a lot of people. Like I know people that they are traveling next week and then they buy their ticket this week. And I'm not as much of a planner as Meenah, but I'm like, what do you mean you're traveling next week and you buy your ticket this week? How much money do you really have in your account? But like, do you want to talk more about that? Just like planning your trips and budgeting.
planning things.
I would say like for me, it's just all about, I think like you said, I'm very much like a methodic person. And I'm very much of a planner. So even when I do my financial budget, in my budget there's a travel fund. So I know that at any given point in time, if I just want to up and leave, what the budgeting accounts, but them are fucking travel, and it's not like there's nothing limiting me. So like there's a standard budgeting rule that is everywhere in the internet. Google, it's called the 50-30-20 rule. So basically the concept is if you earn say 100 naira every month or 100 pounds every month, ideally 50% of that your salary should go to the things that you need to, like your rent, your mortgage, water bill, internet, food, essentials, things that you know that okay, you cannot do without. And then 30% of that will go to things that you want. So like okay, you want to travel, you want to buy gifts for people, you want to buy Birkin, you want to fly first class, all of that goes in there. And then the remaining 20% of that cost will go into your savings or your investments, right? So in my own budgeting, I've budgeted that there has to be like I have a gifting fund because literally I have friends and family that have birthdays every month of the year. So I have like a small pot in my bank that is just for gifting. I have a pot for travel, then I have like a pot for savings, I have emergency savings, and I have like my investments. So because everything is broken down for me like that, I feel like thankfully, knock on wood, like they say in England, inshallah, like I'm financially stable because I've planned for every sort of eventuality and every sort of enjoyment that I want to have in my life.
Yeah, but like, how are you so? Because it's easy to just say, well, this month, that £100.
No, it's
I'm gonna use it on the board games. I don't care. I'm not eating. Do you get like, so like,
yeah,
how
like,
do you become so? What's the word I'm looking for? So,
it's not diligent,
strict.
but like strict with
That's
yourself.
I feel like
not-
maybe for me, maybe
Yeah.
it's just part of getting older. I feel like it's just part of, for me, it's like, okay, I started getting older.
A lot of
and
people
and I have
need to
to
rent
rent
one
for
day.
it.
It's not as a part of
that's
getting
why I feel
older.
like for me, it was just, okay,
But like,
sitting
how would you
down.
advise someone that
Wait, let me start with
Okay,
myself.
okay.
I think for me, it was sitting down and realizing, okay, this is, when I retire, this is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want my children's life to look like. This is what I want me and my partner's life to look like. And they said that money don't buy happiness, but I promise you that money solves a lot of problems. And I quickly realized that if I were to live that version of my rich life that I want when I'm retired at 60 or whatever, and I want my children to have like a financial pot by the time they're going to uni at 18, and I want this to be this at this time, I have to start planning now. And I have a big fear of black tax. I have a big, like, it's a genuine fear. Like, I don't ever want to be waiting for my children to send me money by the grace of God. Like, nothing bad in sending your parents money, but I just feel like I don't ever want to be in that position where I'm waiting for my children to give me money, because I feel like they didn't ask to be brought to this world. I have decided to do what I want to do, and I want to drag them from heaven where they're enjoying. So I don't ever want them to feel like they're burdened or they're responsible for me. So I have to make a plan for myself, and I also have to make a plan for them. Because if I die tomorrow, like, death is inevitable. I think I've gone past the phase of God, let me live long. I've just gotten to the point of God, when I die, just let me die. Like let it not be in a painful circumstance. Let me just go into the time, because I lost a friend when she was just about to turn 35, and I think that really changed perspectives for me. So for me, it's just like, what are the things I want to do?
Sorry, something just went off. Sorry, just.
Don't tell me you know how to sound things.
No, we've had sound. I think the battery is low.
Just now.
Yes. I just said the current.
So should you direct my mic?
Yes, give up. Yeah, let me.
It's just that my audio and her audio will not merge.
It's fine. Valerie.
Fine. What are we going to do if I have to talk? But like she's talking the most, right?
I should
We
hold.
need to shout.
I should hold the mic and then we just.
Do you know, two people you can watch this? Our mic just died, and do you know, fuck it. Oh, it's a magnet. Use it to hold it. Sorry, I just handed it to you. Like
I was
you're
like,
supposed
why
to
are you
hold
giving
it
So
and-
we just
a random
pass.
piece of
No,
plastic?
just pass.
It's fine. I'll share one.
So what was I saying? Yeah, so for me, like, being financially responsible just came from me getting older, me having kids, and me realizing that if I want certain things to be in place for me at certain times in my life, money is one of the only things that can resolve that. And I'm like, I need money, and even if I don't have the kind of money I want now, with the one I have now, what am I doing to manage it? And I kind of always encourage people to be financially responsible. Like my friends and I, like my core friendship circle and I, we talk about money all the damn time. We talk about property. We talk about anything that is bothering us. Like, how can we help each other to better ourselves? If I have access to new information, I'm calling my friends straight away. If they have access to new information, they are calling me straight away. And I feel very blessed to have a friendship circle where, regardless of what's going on, we can comfortably say, this is the mistake I made, and this is how I learned from it, or this is what I've learned newly, and this is how I've benefited, and this is how it benefits you. So for me, it just stems from, I guess, getting older and being more responsible. Like, I know people who were financially responsible, doing the things I'm doing now at 18, and I'm like, that's so fucking sexy. Like, do you know where I would be now if I had access to this information when I was 21? So for me, even with my 9-year-old, I already have conversations with him about money and budgeting. Like, he knows the basics. And I keep saying to him, trust me, it might seem like I'm just talking gibberish now, But when you're 16, 17, you realize that you are ahead of a lot of your peers because I don't think many parents are having financial conversations or financial education with their children.
Must be nice to be such a cool mom.
You talk about like black tax. How do you navigate that? Do you experience?
Do you have like a sorry guys, we're gonna be doing this a lot. Never alright. So do you have you know how you say you have different buckets for you have a bucket for black
I
tax?
do have a bucket for black.
Okay, so in a month, what happens when that bucket runs out?
It runs out for that month. You have to wait till the next month.
Great.
Like, I think I had to quickly get comfortable saying no because I realized that there was a point where I would always say yes and I would be ranting to myself and ranting to my husband and be like, oh my god, I'm so tired of it. And then one day I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're in charge of your money now. Like you have to put a cap on things. I got very even the other day mommy asked me for something. I said, mommy, I can't lie to you, I don't have it now. Like if you can wait till next month or like 2-3 months, I'll have it. But right now I don't have it because I know that all my money is locked somewhere. If I start to take from somewhere, it means that God forbid if something happens that I need that other pot for, then I don't have. Then what happens? Then I get into a cycle of like some debt, and I'm so afraid of this.
And do you know, to
Which
be
is
honest, sorry, this is not going to work. How is it? Maybe you have to just hold it, then you hand it to me. The audio is going to be so fucked up. But this episode,
Just over, I'll sort that later.
it's fine. I was going to say, to be honest, like whatever black tax you are getting, most of the time it's not really important stuff. It's flex for the person.
Not necessarily. Sometimes people have like genuine needs.
I think we have different. Again, she's the first born. Nobody really deals with that. I just say no. Maybe only only the last born. After that, I'm done. We are going to share this mic from now because it's just awkward doing this.
Okay, but let me just ask.
Sorry.
Remember, mirrors.
Should.
Huh?
Wait, come back to you. Move on to the next.
Come
thing.
back to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So you said you lock your funds. Do you lock it and you have no access to like where you save your money, like 30% for savings? Or...
Some of them are locked, and some of them it's just like it's there because I started off with locking it when I first wanted to get into this habit. I was like, okay, I'm going to lock it. So my bank has where you can lock your account for 30 days. If I can lock it for 1 day, 2 days. So I started off with like locking, and then over time I just was like, okay, come on, you're like a fucking 35-year-old.
Plus the money is for you. Why you
Exactly.
Like,
Like,
yeah.
you get. So again, I think for me, a lot of it just came from growing up and realizing that last though, like you're the only person aside your husband that your children have. So if you're not responsible and you die, they will hate you. You'll come and speak for your grave.
Yeah. And then how do you navigate finances with like your partner? Do you guys have like the same financial goal?
Oh yeah.
Did you have that in the beginning? Or you guys didn't discuss it like that?
No, we didn't really discuss it like that. It was just a case of, okay, you're making your money, I'm making my money. These are the bills that need to be paid in the house. We both contribute to the pot. But then when we eventually bought our property, I was like, my husband was like, I'm the one that has all the spreadsheets and everything in the house. Like I literally would sit down every December, be like, all right, sit down, let's decide, let's look at all the bills that we pay. Are all these bills still valid? Do we need to cancel? Do we need to change suppliers? Is there any way we can save from all of these costs? And then I'm like, okay, this is how much we have in our savings as of December 2023. How much do we want to have by the end of December 2024? How much are we earning now? What are the outgoings that we have? Is it realistic for us to be able to save this? And then I always do a half-year review as well, and I'll be like, okay, but now we're in June. Like he hates this conversation.
It's a whole meeting, guys.
No, I'm not even joking. He hates these conversations, but I always say to him, it might be uncomfortable for you, but guess what?
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it anyway. And I know that over time he's come to appreciate it, no matter how uncomfortable it is, because at the end of the day, we're both living in the house together. And for me, I'm very big on open communication. He will say, Madam, talk out today. And I'm like, that's just who I am, right? I need to be able to have conversations with you. We need to know where we are, where we need to be. Is it realistic? Are we able to like have any extra money, send anything home for anybody? If we don't have, we don't have. If we have, we have. Like, and me, I'm not afraid to say no. He knows. I'll just be like, I don't have no money, so come out, call on my badura, call on my chef, everybody should go and face God. But like we literally have conversations about it. Sometimes I'll just randomly be like, so where are we now? Like where are we headed? And I'll show him this is how much I have, you show me this is how much he has. And I'm quite thankful, to be honest, that I have somebody that can have this kind of conversations with where he responds like, because it's very easy for him to just be like, I'm not going to tell you. What will I do? Like there are people in those situations.
Yes.
I'm quite happy to be in a relationship where we're both open about having even the uncomfortable situations like, okay, this you're badly behaved here, I'm badly, like, let's have the conversation and hash it out. And that's why for me, like, I'm very, very big on communication.
Do you guys have like a joint pot?
We don't have a joint savings pot. We have a joint pot for all the core bills that go out of the house. But we both have our individual savings, but we both check in, like, to this point. So I say, oh yeah, log into your bank app and I'll log into my bank.
I want to see
what
are you following this thing? Are you actually saying what we
I
said?
don't want it to be a point where I have to like see we have to have joint savings because we're both like, I expect that we're both responsible. It's just like we'll just check in, okay, this is how much I have, this is how much you have, this is how much we have as a family, this is how much the kids have, that kind of thing. So again, just like open communication, and I guess before you even get to the point of marriage, make sure that you are trusting the person that you're marrying, because
Lagos men. Anyways, let's
be calling on Lagos men. Men are men everywhere.
That's the experience I have. Lagos men. Those are the people I can drag.
Yeah. So we want to just dial down back to like family. Yeah. You relocated like really early. How has that like affected your relationship with family, siblings, your parents? Yeah. Do you think maybe, I don't know, do you think you will do it again, knowing all that you know? Do you think relocating is a good idea?
I think. See,
this thing is, there's no straight answer.
Yeah, I feel like it's relative, right? I think me, I would definitely choose relocation over and over again, just because I know that for me, the basic quality of life that I get living abroad gives me peace of mind. Like I was actually telling my friend last day, I like that when I come back and I turn on the lights, there's lights. I turn on the hot water, there's hot water. If I'm going to work and there's going to be traffic, like Waze has already notified me instead of like a 20-minute train, it's going to be 40 minutes. And I think that's why I feel like I've been struggling in Lagos. I'm not going to I'm quite shocked at how much I've struggled, if I'm being honest. Like, and that's why I got really emotional when I was talking to my friend earlier. But I just feel like on a basic level, when you're abroad, everything works. Like people say, oh my god, but the UK you pay so many taxes.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, but I know where my taxes are going. My children are never going to pay for like their medication till they're 18, and if they go to uni till they're 21. As a pregnant woman, like you get access to free health care and free dental care up on the time that your child is 1. I can like call a GP. Like for me, I just feel like even the basic necessities, I can send my child to a good public school in my catchment area, and I know that they're getting a good education. I don't have to worry about, okay, now I need to go find private school fees. So for me, on a basic level, that is why I would choose relocation over and over again. Now, the only thing that I would personally change is I would wish that my friends and family lived closer to me, because there's nothing like having a sense of community. So I've lived in the UK now 14 years, and I feel like I've only started to get a sense of community in the last like 6 years, because I just decided, you know what, I'm done with this living in silo life. I just want to be able to have friends and have my friends be friends with other kids. So I'm very intentional about arranging play dates for the kids. So if there's anything I personally would change, or I would say to anybody that is relocating abroad, when you go abroad, it's very easy for you to get lonely. I'm not going to lie. You have to be active in finding that community. You have to understand the cultural nuances of wherever you're going to, Canada, UK, wherever, and try to blend in, but without letting go of your own sense of self. So at work now, everybody knows that I'm very pro-Black and I'm very pro-Nigerian. I'm sorry, like you can't take that away from me. I'm very involved in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space in my office. Like if you mention my name to people that know me, they know that Meenah is all about DEI. Like during Eid, even though we don't get a bank holiday, I'll bring food to the office. I'll ask people to bring a potluck. One time somebody brought pork sausages, we laugh about it. I'm like, Muslims don't eat pork meat. But I just try to find ways to introduce people to your culture and understand their culture without you feeling like you're having to let go of a whole lot of yourself just to blend in.
Anyway, summary is that she said yes, she will abandon me again. Carry on.
How did we get here?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Fam, well, I don't know, like, I agree with what you said about, like, life is easier, things work, but, like, when I moved, I was depressed for, like, 2 months.
How can you be depressed when you literally moved into your sister's house?
She was depressed.
So you have to understand that, no, it's not that, it's also because, like, I used to live like 5 minutes away from two of my really close friends, and I used to just go to my friend's house to eat jollof rice.
Okay, that's fair.
And
That's
right
why
now
it's
it's
just
just
a sense
come.
of community.
Yeah, now I'm trying. Like I met a bunch of Nigerians, but it's still like I don't have like my core people there. Which probably why I was very excited to come to Lagos. I'm like, I'm missing Ralia. You're right.
See, that's
But yeah.
fair. Like you will find ways to build your sense of like for me now. I cannot wait to go back and see Amanda. Hi Amanda, if you ever listen to this. Because,
Hi, Amanda.
By the way,
Hi,
thank you for feeding my
Amanda.
family while I've been away. I love you. I know I'm excited to go back and see my sister-in-law because I feel like I've built my own. For the longest time, I would be so angry having to call the UK home. I would be like, Nigeria is my home. After like 5 years in the UK, we realize we deceive yourself.
home.
I think that was happening to me in Lagos because I did not grow up in Lagos. I grew up in Abuja. All my friends, 95% of my friends are in Abuja. Like, it's home. If I'm in Abuja, I'm like at peace. But like, anytime anybody says you're in Lagos, babe, I'm like, don't call me Lagos, babe. I'm in Abuja, babe. I don't identify with this place. So like, I haven't still built my because Hamda left, and to be very honest, Hamda like is the only person I talk to in Lagos.
There's some
Like,
community.
talk to, not like, oh, how are you? Yeah. Fine, yeah. So I'm starting to realize like I traveled in April, and it dawned on me that I do not live in the city anymore. Like I traveled to Abuja, and it was because like I was asking, oh, where's this new place that everybody's talking about? I was like, oh, I don't live here anymore. So I decided I was going to come back to Lagos and just try. It hasn't happened yet. Try.
Keep trying. Like
yeah,
I feel like I'm very friendly and it's easy for me to make friends. So I just capitalize on that, and then I try to find people that I feel like I'll connect with. Most of the people that I feel like we have similar values, and I build on that. But I always say, even now when I look at my core friendship circle, I'll say like 9 out of 10 of them are people that I met on social media, and that we've just developed our relationship over time.
This is public dragging for Ralia. So there's this thing between Ralia and I where it's almost like we're in a relationship, we're dating. So I get jealous when she tells me she meets a new person. She drags
I know
me
that feeling.
when I tell her I meet a new person. But when I was leaving, we had this conversation. I was like, Ralia, you actually need to meet new people because I'm the only friend. And so she met this babe that I always call Miriam, and for some that's not her name.
That's
I
not
just
her
call her
name.
Miriam. I don't care. Right? And like they planned this, but like they never really got to hang out.
Yeah.
Ralia has another version. She's
Her
like
name is.
the
You
girl.
always call her Zainab.
Her name is actually Mira. Sorry, I'm going back to calling you Zainab. I don't want to get that name wrong. Also, like, there's a part of me that worries about Ralia because I'm like, I know she's not the most extroverted person, but I'm also like, but you need to have your people, right? Because I'm going, and I want you to have like. I want you to still have like a friend or like a couple of friends that you still get to hang out with and have your experience. Even though I'll still be jealous, I'm not gonna lie. But like, yeah, you have to figure out ways to navigate that.
Friendship jealousy is definitely a thing, and trust me, I was saying that is because that used to be me. But now I've just realized you can't just have like one person that's your everything. You have to, and then that person, like you may not be your best friend. You may not be your best friend's best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've just come to realize that okay, that's fine. Like you can have other friends. We have our own thing. You guys have your own thing, and like there's no bad feelings. There's no
Like when we see, we're all
we're all still cool. So I feel I'm getting older. This is what I'm having
Best friend. She's a replacement, but
I've never called two people best friends before, and now I feel like I would never call anybody best friend again. Like I'll never use the word best friend, but I have some really fantastic friends. I can't even lie. Like some really, really fantastic friends. We cry together, we laugh together, but you have to find a sense of community. Me, I strongly believe that in your last year, how do you say in Yoruba? I don't believe that anybody was meant to exist alone. It's also why I don't believe in the concept of soulmates. How can you tell me that there's just one person in the world that's meant for me? Don't big this fucking world.
that you have like multiple.
I believe it just
if this
depends
one
on
doesn't
which
work
that
as my taste, why did you have just proximity?
that you never meet.
Yeah. I don't believe
Never
in the
meet
concept
that,
of one soulmate. I'm like, people definitely have multiple soulmates. It just depends on the person that reached there first. It's like
Exactly.
I know
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So let's actually talk about what the topic is. How do you get your money?
Yeah, no,
How do you
totally.
get your money up? How would you advise a 20-something year old Maybe like 30 people, even 50 something. Yeah.
Just how would you advise somebody that does not have the knowledge in general?
For starters, start budgeting. Know where the fuck your money is going. Like you need to know where your money is going every single month. When you want to start this budgeting thing, you'll be very shocked at how much you're spending on takeaways, spending on fancy and on what's not. But like realistically, I always say to people that whenever you get paid should be like your day one. When your salary comes in, then start to look at literally every single thing that goes out. And then you now say, okay, this week I ate enough, like 10 times. Do I really need to be eating amala 10 times?
There is a lupo at home.
Yeah. But like really, that's how you start. You first of all need to know where your money is going, and then you now use the 50-30-20 rule. Now that's just a basic guideline where like 50% goes to your needs, 30% to your wants, and 20% to your savings. But if you are somebody, for example, who lives at home or lives with family and you're not paying rent, I really expect that your 50% will drop down to like 30, and then maybe your savings will increase to like 60. So you can literally amend the ratio according to your personal circumstances, but like on a basic level, start using the 50-30-20 rule of budgeting. And then that 20 is going to be your savings and investments. When you're investing, I always say to people, like, if you're a first-time investor, the easiest thing and like the safest thing that you can start with is investing in ETFs, exchange traded funds, and there are so many. So basically, you can do stocks or shares, which is like buying a piece of a company. So Hamdallah Limited, Hamdallah can now sell one share, so I've bought a piece of Hamdallah, now I own her arm.
What?
Or you can invest in funds, which is like buying a basket full of many pieces of companies. So Raleigh Limited, Meenah Limited, Hamdallah Limited were in a basket. If one person buys one piece of that basket, it was like a piece of each of us, but in one.
Yeah.
So it's like
meat right now.
so you own like our arms, but no, like so there's so many funds out there. There's like a very popular one which I always tell people. Oh, sorry, disclaimer. Whatever I say here is not classed as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before investing money elsewhere.
Great.
Money can go up or down depending on.
You should cut that part for your page, by the way. Like we should do that for you.
But so you can invest in the Vanguard S&P 500, for example, has the top 500 companies in America. So if you invest in that, you're basically investing in the top 500 companies in America. And
you can do this from anywhere.
I do this from anywhere.
What like tell people like what apps they can use?
I mean, I feel like I don't want to mention apps because this is not sponsored, and again,
It's
I'm
fine.
not
It's fine. Sometimes we're just trying to help people's lives.
Okay, if you're in the UK, you can use Trading 212. There's Vanguard Investors. There's Happy Lansdowne. There's AJ Bell. Just make sure that whichever broker you choose to go with is registered with Financial Services Compensations.
What about like for the Ninja babes and guys?
Yeah, machine researching. You have got to do your research.
There's Binance. I mean, that one's still.
I think Meenah's like more crypto.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you're Nigerian, you're gonna have to do your own research. I can only speak like I said for the UK market.
We
But
apologize.
you should be able to buy stocks and shares from anywhere in the world. You just need to find a broker that does it, and then just make sure that they don't have like crazy fees, right?
Yeah. What else?
What else?
Thank you so much.
It's
It's
been
been
lovely
lovely to have you.
It's been lovely to be here. It's been a long time. I've been begging. I said, please bring me on your podcast.
Is it not good that we waited till you
So
came?
you came in person.
Imagine we're doing this over Zoom. Why will you be selling our arms?
Hi guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Oversharing and Banter featuring Meenah. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube page, and tell your friends to tell your friends so that we can build this community. Love you. Bye.
Bye.